CCPD, meantime, has arrested an accomplice in an early morning catalytic converter theft turned officer-involved shooting. 25-year-old Juan De Los Santos is facing charges of aggravated robbery. Police were called out to an apartment complex on Carroll Lane, Caravel Parkway shortly before 7 this morning. There they found him under a car attempting to steal a catalytic converter. When an officer approached Santos, a struggle ensued. That's when a second suspect pulled a gun out on the officer. Investigators say the officer was forced to shoot the gunman. The gunman was rushed to an area hospital where he later died. The officer was not hurt and has been placed on administrative leave.